Hey y'all, what is up? Skylar here with Sky Gardens. I grow flowers in West Texas, as you can see. Behind me here is the rose garden. We've also got some death right here. I always have to point that out. And I tucked a weed underneath my bench because I couldn't get it to be pulled. So, I'm just gonna tell on myself for a second, I guess. But it's been a while since we've been on here. It has been about a month ago since I did the last one of these, and let me tell you, it's because our month of July is usually the month of rest around here, which is weird because that's whenever everybody thinks that flowers should be blooming and things should be going like crazy, and it's hot, and yeah, it's hot. Today is a beautiful day though, man. We're getting blessed with some sprinkles in the air. Hopefully we can get some rain out of it. But nevertheless, it's a gorgeous day, and it just plows right into what we're going to talk about today, because we're going to talk about rest, and rest in the midst of all the chaos. And let me tell you, these past 3 weeks in particular have been chaotic. I guess probably 4. So I go to camp, our church camp, and then we came back for a week, and then we went out of town to go to the lake with our family. And let me tell you, those 2 things are so amazing. God does such amazing things in both of those places. And so there are things that whenever I started this farm a couple years ago now, my thought was I've got to still go to camp. Like, really, that first year though, all I could think was, no, like, why would I can't go to camp. I can't go to camp. Like, cannot happen. We need to change our family vacation. We don't need a family vacation in July. Why would we do that? Like, not good for growing seasons, because like everything needs to be tended to. All the weeds start to grow up. Let me show you. You see this? Yeah. They're everywhere. There's all these weeds. In fact, behind the rose garden, we've got the peony garden. All you see is weeds back there right now. I'm not worried about it. But it's ugly to look at, right? And so we're doing all these different things all throughout the summer. And let me tell you, those weeks leading up to the different times that I leave. So the week before I went to camp, it was like rush. Try to sell as many flowers, but also like try to get everything ready to go and do all the next week's work right now, which is impossible, by the way, on a farm. Like, it's impossible. And so I'm sitting there, I'm working, go to camp. It was amazing. Like, it was an amazing time. I learned a lot, and really I learned a lot from a lot of, so I work with the staff people there, and so it's not exactly a week of rest, I would say, but it's a week of rest away from what I do every day, which does make it a week of rest. But we're washing dishes, we're cleaning toilets, we're doing all the things, and I learned a lot of the slang. This makes me sound like really old, but really, truly, there are lots of words I had no idea existed. Like, I'm not even going to start going into it, but all the craziness. And then I get back, and there's a ton that needs to be done because I just missed a week, right? So the farm, I've got to get things weeded, got to plant, roll, right? And then leave again, which is hard to do, right? To take the time in the middle of the chaos to say, hey, this is time to just step away. And I think we see this from God firsthand I know we see this from God firsthand in the very beginning, in Genesis chapter 1 and 2, whenever he is creating the world, right? And so you have in the beginning, and God said, let there be light, and let there be clouds and skies and the different water, and so he goes through each of the days, right? Day 3, let it be flowers, grass, and trees. Day 4, sun and moon and stars galore. And 5, birds and fish alive. 6, man and animals. And 7, what did he do? He rested. And I think I've always thought of that story as, wow, he's finished. That the work is done, he's finished, he rests, right? And I guess it is just as I've grown up, I start actually looking at this and I'm like, no, man, God just took a day to rest in the middle of all the chaos that he had just created. And I think I'm really seeing this over the past couple weeks, because I create all this chaos, and then is it really time to rest? Like, God, are you sure this is good? And this is what I need to be doing, is taking a break from this? But man, he does so much in that time, right? So cool what he does, because he just created the whole world. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I think it looks more like Eden, to the point where everything is perfect and there are no weeds, right? But then again, at the same time, there's things that have to be done. He just created animals and man, and can you imagine? I bet the lion started getting in fight with something else, and the cows decided to get out of the little area that they're supposed to be in, that's supposed to protect them. And then the cows going, I mean, who knows, right? But all of this chaos is ensuing. The whole world was just created, and God takes a day to say, no, it is time to rest, recoup, and rejuvenate my soul. And I think that's what he's telling me to do. In the middle of all of the chaos, to rest, recoup, and rejuvenate my soul, to get ready for what is to come. And let me tell you, this is what we've done this season. We plant in the fall for spring flowers. And then we get to the spring, we try to make it through the spring with all the different weather things that we have, and then we start planting again, and we prepare, get the weeds tended. Everything is tending up to the point of the fall. But we're right here on the cusp of it in July, and it's time to rest, so we can be better prepared for the chaos that is coming. Right? Is that how it works? It's how I truly feel in this past week. So I get back from camp, stay back home a week, get all the weeds under control, try to do as much as I can, and then I leave for the lake. And we go to the lake with my family. And man, Psalms 23 right here, it just it speaks to me as to what I was just thinking throughout the entire week. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. Which is so cool to me it says that, because, I mean, it's green here and it looks really pretty here, but y'all, we've got, I don't know, it's just, I always associate home with more brown and not being able to grow quite as much as everywhere else in the world. And from what I see, at least, and a lot of the times being so in this area of lots of dirt around me, right? And so we go to the lake, and I lay down in green pastures. And it says he leads me beside quiet waters. Y'all, we go to the lake. I love to ski. And let me tell you, I slalom ski. I think the most beautiful thing in the whole wide world is being out on that water. At least up to this point that I've been living as of right now, I truly do think it is the most beautiful thing in the world. It feels beautiful. It is beautiful. It looks so pretty. The water looks like glass on those calm mornings, and it just cut through the water, and I'm just like, wow, God, you are leading me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And I know you're thinking, Skylar, you're pulling out that even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death in this time of like rest, like what? But I think that's exactly his point here, is And it just, it just starts to register more in your head every time, because I'm leaving the farm at its most vulnerable state. Like, things don't exactly have to be done as far as planting, because that has happened, but at this point in time, everything has to stay alive in order to have a fall season, in order to have a crop, in order to have people to be able to come out to the farm, and that's what they're asking for nonstop. And so I'm in the middle of all this fear of not being able to get all of this going, and God, is this even, like, is this it? Because there's so much that needs to be done at all points in time. And the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And I think this is something that is so important to, yes, take a trip to the lake and do it there, but every single week, with every, for me, it's all the text messages coming in, or people calling and wanting to come out to the farm, and me not having total confidence of when exactly that is going to happen, though I know that he will provide. And man, he has provided, and we're gonna have things going soon, right? But in the midst of all the chaos, to just sit down in his creation, if that's where you feel it, right? Sit down in your prayer closet. I know so many people I either see on social media or I know in real life, and they have this prayer closet. And, I was like, I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to make a closet. I'm going to go and sit in there, and it's going to be my prayer closet, and I'm going to love that. And I do. I mean, that's great and all. But where I see Jesus most is right out here in his creation. And that can be at the lake in his creation, or it can be out on Sky Gardens in his creation. But either way, it's in his creation. And so in the midst of all the chaos of the upcoming season that we've got coming on, and in midst of all the chaos of the upcoming craziness of people wanting to come out to the farm, like needing to build bathrooms, getting them all fixed up and going, I have to take time to sit in his creation and remember that the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I know I read that a couple of times throughout this, but I think it is so important to remember that throughout all the chaos and all the things that need to be done, and everywhere that we go, that God is calling us to just find rest in him and to find peace in him, and that he's right there offering it to us, whether that be in the garden, or if it be at the lake away from the garden, or in your closet in your room, or just in your room, or out in public place. I don't know where it is, but all I know is that he will bring us rest. And that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. We serve a really awesome God. Ugh, so cool. So this is our In His Creation segment. I don't even know if I went over this at the beginning, but it's where I take you through whatever I'm seeing in the garden, or I guess really whatever's going on in my life at the point in time, whatever season is passing through, and we just passed through the rest season, let me tell you. The rest and chaos season. And we're about to get into the chaos and rest season. Because they're one and the same. And so, in the next season, I could still find rest knowing that God is right there, and I can find rest in Him. That's pretty neat. So, thank y'all so much for tuning in here. I hope that this is encouraging to you. And if you are at a point in time where you're thinking, man, I just can't get away from all these different things and all these distractions that are coming my way, I encourage you to just take a second, whether that have to be like 5 minutes, or if it's an hour, or if it is a week, or whatever it is, to truly look at what all God is doing and find rest in Him and who He is and His goodness. So, thank y'all so much. I hope that you have an amazing week. I will be back next week, and we'll be picking up just like normal again. So, we'll be talking to y'all. I guess me and God. And I hope you have an amazing week. Thank you.